Hey folks, it's Rob and welcome back. We're continuing our series today with episode 42 on our Monstrous Compendium Appendix for the Mystara setting from 1994's TSR. Today we have this lovely figure of a creature on page 112, the Thunderhead. You can see he's, is it a wyvern? Is it a dragon? What is it? I always take a point of guidance on dragons having 4 limbs, while wyverns only have the legs and, the wings on there. Obviously, dragons also should have wings, at least the traditional Western style dragon. And, this guy's got a mouthful of teeth. He's got a long head, long neck, long thin tail, pair of bat wings with little claws on him, and he's got claw-type claws on the end of his feet. He's probably an unpleasant character, but at the same time, I would gather probably more animal than dragon, right? But that's my guess. Let's get into the actual description, and we'll see how the monster actually presents to us. So, this is a Thunderhead. Climate/terrain, aerial thunderstorms. Frequency, very rare, common in thunderstorms. Organization, solitary. Activity cycle, any. Diet, carnivore. Intelligence, low, 5 to 7. Treasure, nil. Alignment, chaotic evil. Number appearing, 1d3. Armor class, 0. Movement, 3 on the ground. Flying, 18 with a maneuverability of E, so it just blunders about in a way. If you want to be generous, it gracefully and widely soars. It doesn't turn quickly. Hit dice 8, but 16 in thunderstorms. To hit AC 0 is 13 normally, but 5 in thunderstorms. Gets 2 attacks, which are 2d6 claw attacks. That is, each claw attack does 2d6, not that there are 2d6 claw attacks. Sorry, I'll be absolutely clear there. Special attack is a lightning bolt. No special defense, no magic resistance. They are size huge. That is, the wingspan is described as 30 feet. So that is across the wings. I imagine this thing's easily from nose to tail and are 30 feet as well. Going by the picture anyway. Morale, elite at 14. XP value, 2,000. But hey, if it's in a thunderstorm, it's worth 10,000 XP. To make up for that doubled hit die. Thunderheads are reptilian carnivores related to both dragons and wyverns. They are constantly on the wing and are usually encountered during thunderstorms. A Thunderhead has a leathery black body that shows deep blue highlights on those rare occasions when sunlight strikes it. Its swept-back, bat-like wings are velvety black. The creature has a narrow, elongated head and a long, toothy beak, and a pair of slit-like eyes colored a vibrant electric blue. A Thunderhead's 2 legs look spindly but are very strong, ending in splayed feet. Each foot has 3 toes and an opposed thumb, each digit equipped with a vicious-looking claw. So, we're meant to take this as more black with blue hint, which I guess, you need to do a little interpretation for art purposes. Otherwise, this is not going to be very readable. I kind of like it as the blue, too. But you do you, right? Combat. Thunderheads usually limit their hunting to other aerial creatures. They have exceptionally keen eyesight and can spot prey as small as a sparrow from several thousand feet away. A Thunderhead's favorite tactic is to swoop down upon smaller prey and grab it with its claws. If the Thunderhead hits with a roll of 16 or better, the victim is caught in the claws and can be squeezed automatically for claw damage each round thereafter. A Thunderhead can snatch and carry 2 small or tiny creatures, 1 in each foot, or a single creature as large as a light warhorse. When faced with... Doesn't make any distinction about the barding. Since they mentioned warhorse, let's go with barding. When faced with an opponent too large to carry or too nimble to snatch, a Thunderhead rakes with its claws and uses its breath weapon, a stroke of lightning, 5 foot wide and 60 feet long, that inflicts 5d6 points of damage. Victims who make a successful saving throw versus breath weapon take only half damage. A Thunderhead can generate 1 stroke every 3 rounds. So it is not limited, again, to, like, say, 3 breath attacks in a day. It can just generate 1 every 3 rounds. Thunderheads become very excited and aggressive during thunderstorms. When a storm strikes, a Thunderhead's hit dice and hit points double. The creature also gains a to-hit AC 0 approximate to its doubled hit dice, and its experience points value increases accordingly. Use the statistic listed in the parentheses. Well, duh. When excited and strengthened in this fashion, a Thunderheads swoop down to ground level and attack anything that moves, first loosing strikes of lightning, then attempting to snatch their victims. Habitat/Society. Thunderheads live high up in the clouds, soaring and hunting. They are not social creatures, but any area with strong updrafts that make soaring easier can attract several Thunderheads. Such areas can become extremely hazardous if thunderstorms develop in them. Thunderheads hunt, eat, sleep, and mate on the wing. Ecology. Thunderheads hunt all types of flying creatures, birds, bats, giant flying insects, even flying humans. During thunderstorms, a frenzied Thunderhead will try to catch and eat anything it spots. Sages disagree over exactly how and why a Thunderhead's hit dice and hit points double during thunderstorms. Most scholars believe that creature simply goes berserk, attacking ferociously and shrugging off attacks that might otherwise cause it great harm. Others argue that a Thunderhead must actually enhance its own life force, using the charged atmosphere inside active storm clouds as an energy source. Virtually, the only time Thunderheads land voluntarily is when females do so briefly to lay eggs after mating. All Thunderheads' nesting sites are located in areas prone to violent storms. The female chooses a sheer, sunny cliff that is accessible only from the air. Once she finds a suitable site, she lays a clutch of 1d4 plus 1 eggs. Thunderhead eggs have exceptionally thick shells. Their tough exterior and mottled brown or gray color makes them look just like large stones. The eggs become ready to hatch after about 14 weeks, and the parents stay nearby ready to drive off intruders. Thunderhead eggs have shells so thick and strong that young Thunderheads must blast their way out with their lightning bolts when they are ready to hatch. Thunderhead parents feed their hatchlings for about a month. During this time, the hatchlings' size and weight triple as they eat voraciously. When a thunderstorm finally builds up, the young Thunderheads go into the same frenzy as their parents and launch themselves into the storm. Once airborne, instinct takes over, and the young Thunderheads immediately begin hunting on their own. Thank you for joining this episode of Mutual of Omaha, Wild Kingdom. No. Yeah, neat. I can see using them as a random encounter in the sense that they will come out of the sky to try to snatch something, right? Using them in the air in the thunderstorm is going to be a bit weird, but not impossible, especially if you're fighting, say, like an air elemental or something. But for most encounters, you're not going to be going up an unassailable mountain to get eggs unless you're quested to do so. And you're otherwise not going to be encountering these unless they are encountering you, right? But that doesn't say that this can't go into your random encounter chart. And certainly, I think it could well deserve a spot there. And maybe it's all interested in snatching away the supply donkey that the party has. But, are they going to let that happen? Let's move forward to our next page. The Ebon Tiger, which we have, it not so tigery. I want to say it has like the kind of the body shape and head of a bobcat, but it's probably bigger. And obviously it's purple and has stink lines on it, unfortunately. I don't think it's meant to be stink lines. Again, this is lighter on the page than the one I have in my hand. It doesn't like purple very much in the scans, in my experience. But you get all the detail. You have teeth, you have the eyes here, the whiskers, ears, tail, that, claws. It's cat-like, right? Let's get into it. Climate/terrain, any. Frequency, very rare. Organization, solitary. Activity cycle, any. Diet, carnivore. What a shock. Intelligence, animal. Gives it a 1. Usually just, with the animal intelligence, consider this a predator, a big cat, right? And treat it that way. Treasure, nil. Alignment, neutral. Yeah, because it's an animal, it's just interested in eating, survival, breeding, that kind of thing, right? Number appearing 1. Armor class 6. Movement 15. Hit dice 6. To hit AC 0, 15. Number of attacks 3. Now, the damage per attack is a D4 claw, a second D4 claw, and a 2D4 bite. Special attacks, the bite causes blindness, fun. Special defense, stealth. Concealment, hit only by magical weapons. Magic resistance, however, is nil. Size, large, 8 foot long. Well, that is about tiger size. Their morale is fearless at 20, so you can't break their morale. XP value, 975. These fearsome magical creatures look like great cats wholly composed of black fire. Physically, an ebon tiger resembles a normal tiger, except that its body is uniformly black with no stripes. Lighter patches of darkness mark the creature's eyes, teeth, and whiskers. These areas sometimes faintly sparkle with a magical energy, especially when the ebon tiger is angry or excited. Combat. Ebon tigers are masters of stealth. Their shadowy bodies give them a 100% chance to hide in shadows. Ebon tigers are insubstantial and virtually weightless. Their non-material bodies make them immune to normal weapons and allow them to move silently 100% of the time. Ebon tigers can pass through small openings, even mere holes or cracks, with ease. Their senses extend to the ethereal plane, and they can attack and be attacked by ethereal and out-of-phase creatures at all times. Areas guarded by ebon tigers frequently are lit by flickering torches or oil lamps that create many shadows. Intruders who venture into these areas often suffer a nasty shock when the ebon tiger leaps to the attack. The victim suffers a -4 penalty to his or her surprise roll due to the difficulty in detecting the creature's silent approach. I mean, honestly, I don't know if you can detect these without magical aid. They don't make noise. They are literally made of shadow. Unless you know you're looking for one. I think the first surprise is going to be just genuinely you are surprised, right? But that's me. I like to make things kind of come together like that. Ebon tigers attack with their claws and teeth. An ebon tiger's bite can cause blindness in addition to normal damage. Any creature bitten must roll a saving throw versus poison. If the saving throw fails, the victim's sight begins to grow dim, and he or she feels disorientated. During the next round, the victim suffers a -1 penalty attack rolls, ability score checks, and saving throws. This penalty increases by a point per round until it reaches -4. Any type of magical healing, cure wounds, spells, neutralize poison, cure disease, etc., removes the effect, provided it is applied before the penalty reaches -4. Once the penalty reaches -4, the victim is completely and permanently blind thereafter. Only a cure blindness or heal spell will restore sight, and heal is quite potent mojo, so as you might imagine. Not quite sure where cure blindness falls on the level on the cleric's level of spells, but certainly it's not in the first two. Habitat/society. Ebon Tigers are solitary hunters that roam the prime material, ethereal, and other inner planes. Ebon Tigers prefer thickly overgrown places where trees and shrubs provide shadowy conditions even during daylight. Ebon Tigers are by reputation very territorial, bad-tempered, and ruthlessly vicious. This reputation is not entirely deserved. Wild Ebon Tigers tend to be shy and reclusive, attacking only when hungry or threatened. Being shy, however, they are quite likely to regard any intrusion as a threat. It is not clear whether Ebon Tigers or where Ebon Tigers originated. It is possible that they first came from a gloomy, deep ethereal demiplane. It is equally possible that they owe their existence to ancient magical experiments made by an unknown priest or wizard. Rakasta priests often use Ebon Tigers as guards to protect important places or treasures. Their stealth and utter fearlessness as guard beasts has gone a long way towards establishing the Ebon Tiger reputation as a heartless killer. Ecology. Ebon Tigers do not appear to require water or sleep. They spend their lives endlessly prowling. They require freshly killed meat from time to time, but can go for months without eating. They prefer to kill their food themselves and consume every last scrap, even the bones. Captive Ebon Tigers, however, will accept fresh meat from their keepers. Ebon Tigers, fed in this manner, need food about every 6 weeks. In spite of their possibly artificial origins, Ebon Tigers are a viable species. Their annual mating season is about 6 weeks long. During this time, they ignore their normal hunting territories as males and females and seek each other out. Ask your parents, kids. After a brief mating, the pair splits and the female gives birth to 1d3 cubs 10 to 12 weeks later. The mother protects the cubs for 2 years while they grow to about half their adult size and learn to walk and hunt. Learn to stalk and hunt. The cubs split up to pursue their own lives when the mother leaves them. Ebon Tiger fat, what little of it there is, sometimes is used to make oil of etherealness. Some mages also suggest that the breath of the Ebon Tiger can be used for oil of etherealness. Good luck catching the breath of an Ebon Tiger, but, maybe you can hold it with Hold Monster for a bit. Yeah. Yeah, it's a shadow tiger. What can I say? It's a tiger, but ethereal and shadowy, and kind of the answer to that shadow hound we had earlier, right? A couple episodes back. And let's do one more today. The Topi, yes. Page 114. Shrunken head dude, basically, is how I always saw these guys. And it's because of the depiction, right? You got this, it literally looks like a shrunken head. But if you get that, fat removal technique that's popular right now, you look a bit like this, I guess. No eyebrows. Get your subcutaneous fat removed. Gross. Sorry. I don't mean any offense to any of you out there, but, I don't understand why people get that done. You want to look like a meth head? Go ahead and look like a meth head, I guess. It's your money to spend in your face. Enough of my diversion. I'm so sorry. Topi. Climate/terrain. Tropical or subtropical jungle. Ruins subterranean. Frequency very rare. Organization group. Activity cycle any. Diet none. Intelligence semi 2 to 4. Treasure nil. Alignment chaotic evil. Number appearing 2d4. Armor class 6. Movement 12. Human space. Hit dice 3. To hit AC 017. Number of attacks 2. It gets a d6 claw and another d6 claw. Special attacks are poison and leaping. Special defense immune to some spells. Magic resistance nil. Size tiny, 2 foot tall. A little more than 3 apples. For those out there who remember Smurfs. Morale, average 10 or fearless 20. XP value 270. Does that sound like undead to you? Does it look like undead to you? It does to me. If you guessed undead, I believe you are correct. Topi are tiny undead humanoid creatures similar to zombies. Before these creatures are animated, however, the corpses are shrunk until they are only 2 feet tall. The process gives them dark, wrinkled, leathery skin. Their eyes are wide and bulging, and their lips are usually curled back, freezing their faces into permanent, toothy grimaces. Occasionally, however, the lips are sewn shut. Like zombies, Topis usually are clad in the tattered remains of whatever clothing they were wearing when they died. Unlike zombies, Topis do not have a rotting stench, as their shrinking process also preserves their flesh. Topis cannot speak, but often hiss, snarl, grunt, or gnash their teeth while attacking. Yeah, play that up as much as you want. Have fun. Combat. Topis are much more agile than normal zombies, and they roll for initiative in the usual manner. They can leap up to 6 feet in combat, vertically or horizontally. Leap up onto the head of somebody. Leap up over a wall. Just spring forward to use that jump scare aspect, right? Have fun. Again, this is a game. You're here to have fun, right? Topis are intelligent and can follow fairly complex instructions. If left to their own devices, they try to use their leaping ability to disorient their foes. Their favorite tactics include surrounding foes by leaping upward onto roofs or overhanging branches, then dropping back down to attack from behind. Like most undead, Topis are immune to sleep, charm, and hold spells, death magic, poisons, and cold-based attacks. They can be turned as wights, which is quite potent for a zombie creature. A vial of holy water inflicts 2d4 points of damage when it strikes a Topi. Blunt weapons inflict only half damage on a Topi, but if the wielder is human-sized, medium, or larger, the Topi is knocked off balance and loses any attacks or unfinished actions during the remainder of the round. In addition, the Topi suffers a +5 penalty to its initiative roll for the next round. It's kind of picking itself up, Does have, a head-body ratio of a toddler at this point. Longer arms. A Topi's claws carry a debilitative venom. Creatures struck by a claw must roll a saving throw versus poison. If the saving throw fails, the victim suffers a general unease and slowing of the metabolism, which begins the next round and lasts for 1d2 turns. That's 10-20 minutes. A slow poison spell applied in the round of the injury or the first round of the effect delays the venom's effects for the duration of the spell. Slow poison applied later is ineffective. A neutralized poison or heal spell, or Keogtum's, I don't know if I'm mispronouncing that right, Keoghtom. I think Keogtum's ointment curtails the venom's effect. It's a curative ointment thing you can get in the magic item list. The effect of the poison is similar to that of the slow spell. The victim moves and attacks at half normal rate. He or she also suffers a +4 penalty to armor class, an attack penalty of -4, an initiative penalty of +2, and the loss of all combat bonuses due to dexterity. Note that this non-magical effect, and as such, cannot be negated by items such as a ring of free action. It's a physical effect, affecting the person that's been poisoned. A neurotoxin, I would say. Once ordered into combat, a Topi never checks morale. It attacks until it is destroyed, turned, or ordered to retreat by the spellcaster who animated it. Habitat/society. Like zombies, Topis exist only to serve the spellcaster who animated them. Their intelligence and evil nature makes them prone to malice, however, and it is unwise to trust them with anything delicate or overly complex. Topis are usually found guarding tribal burial grounds or temples. Some witch doctors and shamans, or shamans if you prefer, also employ them as servants, scouts, and bodyguards. Ecology. Topis are unnatural creatures who have no ecological role except as a consequence of their orders. They can, for example, be ordered to gather food or hunt small game. Unless ordered otherwise, a Topi left on its own will gleefully maim and kill anything it can catch. Topis do not require food or water, killing only for pleasure or to obey orders. The dead body of any humanoid creature can be made into a Topi. Only a few tribal spellcasters know how to shrink the corpses, however. The few travelers who have observed the process and have been lucky enough to return to tell the tale report that the corpse is boiled for several days in a mixture of water, herbs, and animal organs, and then dried in the sun and animated presumably with a variant animate dead spell. So, yeah, you want your shrunken head zombies. These sound like, these are a bit more fun than regular zombies, obviously. Regular zombies, well, they do pose a challenge to low bottom tier parties because they tend to be 2-hit dice, and they do lose initiative automatically, and yeah, they're not hard to turn once the party starts getting going, right? What really gets you with zombies is just having a lot of them. A zombie is not a particular threat to anybody, but having, say, 10 zombies, that's a problem, right? But that's going to be it for today. If you have any thoughts, I'm happy to have you share them in the comments below. I want to thank you very much for joining me today, and I appreciate you being here with me on this series. I hope you have a great day and good health. Goodbye.